Today we're taking the AEA Challenger 457 caliber air rifle up against the AirForce Texan 457 caliber air rifle. Last time we brought these against each other, we shot a 220 grain round out of each one of them, and the AEA Challenger showed us a much higher velocity than the AirForce Texan. Today we're going to be firing these 340 grain leads right here. These are typically what I fire out of my Texan. We'll fire those today through both rifles, through the Pro chronograph from Competition Electronics. It'll give us a really good accurate velocity, and with that we can give you an idea of what kinds of foot-pounds of energy each one of these rifles are capable of producing. Alright guys, we're ready for our power test. Let's go ahead and load up the AEA Challenger here with one of these 340 grain slugs. These are made from the 457 mold from Lee. Let's go ahead and load that in there. There we are. Let's give it a good power test. Helps if I turn on the scope. Look at that, 833 feet per second. That is cruising right along for a 45 caliber air rifle. In fact, I bet you that is over 500 foot-pounds of energy right there. Let's go ahead and fire a couple more rounds and we'll switch over to the AirForce Texan. I'll set that up here and load that big old lead in there. There we go. Shot number 2. Look at that. Shot number 2 is still 829 feet per second. That is a lot of power. Let's go ahead and shoot another one of those. Once again, one of these big 340 grains. Alright, shot number 3 from the AEA. 803 feet per second. So there you go, there's your first 3 shots from the AEA Challenger 45 cal air rifle. Let me go ahead and grab the AirForce Texan. Alright guys, we're ready for the AirForce Texan test. Just want to show you the power wheel there is turned all the way to the very top. We've got the pressure gauge all the way up. We're going to grab one of these 340 grain slugs. Chronograph is still set for the last shot from the AEA Challenger. Let's go ahead and take a shot here. Here we go, shot number 1 from the AirForce Texan. 763 feet per second. That is the standard Texan. This is the non-carbon fiber tank model with the TX2 valve. That's a 340 grain slug. Here we go, shot number 2 from the Texan. It says 725 feet per second. You go ahead and zoom in for you so you can see that, 725 feet per second. So obviously for a $1,200 rifle versus the $600 AEA Challenger, you're definitely getting a much more powerful rifle with the AEA, and you're going to spend about half as much as you're going to spend on an AirForce Texan. We'll take one final shot here just to finish off the show from the Texan, just to show you. This was 3 shots versus 3 shots out of the AEA Challenger. Shot number 3 from the Texan. So 706 feet per second. We had an 800 and something feet per second third shot out of the AEA, and we get a 706 foot per second third shot out of the AirForce Texan. Obviously there's no comparison. You definitely get more bang for your buck from AEA than most other manufacturers out there. Until next time, I hope you